Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be going over an interesting solution to LeetCode problem 125, which is about trying to find valid palindromes. If you didn't know, a palindrome is a phrase that can be said backwards and forwards with the same letters or numbers. This means that the first character should be the same as the last character, the second should be the same as the second last, and so on. For our problem, when we're given a string, we should make it so that we're checking a string that only has lowercase letters and digits, and that we're not taking into account spaces, commas, colons, and more. For example, LeetCode provides us with a sample string as a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. When we ignore everything that's not a letter or a number, we can see that we have a palindrome. Now that we know what to do, let's get into how we could solve this. The idea I want to implement here involves having two pointers. We know that we have to ignore every non-digit or letter, so we should implement one pointer at the very start of our word and one at the very end. Then, the idea is that we can move each pointer until they reach a valid letter or number, assuming that they don't start on one. We can then compare the value at each pointer. If the values are the same, then we know that so far it's a palindrome. Otherwise, if the values are different, then it's not a palindrome, in which we have to return false. We can have all of these instructions repeat while our right pointer is greater than the left pointer. Doing this makes sure that the pointers don't cross past each other. Now we have an idea, so let's implement it. We first start by initializing our pointers. We have our first pointers called left set to the value of 0, and we have our second pointer, right, initialized to the length of the word -1. We do the length of the word -1 for the right pointer due to how indices work in Java. Next, we're told that we should consider that all uppercase letters are lowercase, so let's just make the entire sentence lowercase, which helps us with the comparing. Now that we have a sentence that's completely lowercase, along with two pointers, we can get into the actual comparing. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be moving our right and left pointers, but I don't want my right pointer to go past my left one. So we should have all of the comparing happen under a while loop that happens while the value of the right pointer is greater than the left pointer. Now onto the comparisons. First, I want to check if the value at the left pointer is either a digit or a letter. We're checking that with character.isLetter or digit, and then we're going to be putting in our character at the left pointer. If it isn't a letter or a digit, then we move the pointer to the right by 1 by increasing its value by 1, and we continue with the loop. Once it's reached a suitable value, it moves on to the if-else statement, which checks to see if the right pointer is at a suitable value. If it's not, then the pointer is moved to the left by 1, decreasing the right pointer's value by 1, and the loop repeats. Once both pointers are at suitable values, a comparison is done to see if the characters are the same. If they are the same, then we can just move the left and right pointers in their respective directions by 1. If we forget to move the pointers, then we're going to have an infinite loop. If the values aren't the same, then that means that sadly, our string is not a palindrome. This means that we have to return false. Well, that's the basics of the program. If the values are always the same, then we never have to return false, and we simply return true at the end of the program. If we submit this, we can see that it works. If you have any questions or problems that you'd like me to go over, please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, goodbye.